All right, good evening, everyone. I'm Joshua Weisel here in the Weather 225 Storm Studios, taking a look at your evening forecast across the region. Let's walk into the evening forecast here and let you know what's going on. We've already seen a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms. Some were capable of some hail so far. In fact, as of the time of this recording, there was actually a potential watch that was being debated between the Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center for parts of our far southern counties. Now, if any storms continue to develop throughout the remainder of this afternoon into this evening, some could be strong to severe. Not all of them, but mostly with a hail and a wind threat. That's what we're primarily talking about in terms of the threat for the remainder of today. Not everyone's going to see it. I just want you to be, aware of the potential for the remainder of this evening. But later tonight, things should wrap up, and then we have maybe some more isolated rain chances later on. Let's walk you through what we've got for the remainder of today in terms of the headlines, and you can see isolated to slightly scattered showers and thunderstorms will be possible. They'll continue for the remainder of this afternoon into this evening, and then we've got more summer heat on the way. We'll talk about that. Pattern is mostly quiet, but there will be some rain chances to be aware of as well. As we make our way into the forecast, here's a look at what we've got for the remainder of overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. Right around the upper 60s, lower 70s, pretty much area-wide. Now, keep in mind, it's not going to be as warm as it was in some areas compared to the recent mornings that we have had into the 80s, but it is still going to be fairly warm and fairly humid. Now, with the cool-off, kind of like what we saw this morning, there was some areas of maybe some slight patchy fog from time to time. We'll walk you through the Foghorns morning fog outlook here in just a second. Overall, tomorrow, pretty much same forecast that we saw today across the area. We're expecting highs once again into the upper 80s, into the lower 90s. It's almost copy and paste compared to today. Now, there will be a little bit of a change in some locations by only 1 or 2 degrees. But when it's this hot and this humid, even though it's not the hottest we've seen, it really isn't going to feel any different. So no major cool down or anything along like that for the forecast for tomorrow. But similarly, there will be a chance for some spotty showers and thunderstorms once again tomorrow. For the remainder of tonight into tomorrow, though, we do have a low end risk for strong to severe storms, mostly along into the south and east of I-40. Does clip parts of the river valley, but keep in mind, outside of this potential low-end risk that we have, it doesn't mean that if you're northwest Arkansas, for instance, you won't see, storms in general or severe storms. Now, storms weren't quite severe with that activity that we saw in Fayetteville a little bit earlier this afternoon, but it did produce some hail with it, up to nickel size. So, it's not severe, but still onto the stronger side. That doesn't mean that if you're outside of the blue, you won't see strong activity in general. Just something to keep an eye on. The rain chances for the remainder of tonight, still pretty much the same thing, mostly for our Arkansas counties that we're going to see the greatest chance for some isolated pop-up showers and storms. Into parts of southwest Missouri, that doesn't mean that there won't be any activity in Oklahoma, but it's lower the further west that you go. Further east you go, that's where those rain chances look to be a little bit more likely. But again, that doesn't mean that there won't be any pop-up showers or storms in Oklahoma. It just means that, the activity is going to be a little bit greater in our Missouri and Arkansas County coverage area. We've already seen that kind of verified with the forecast today. That'll continue to be the case throughout the remainder of this late afternoon into the evening. So that's a look at what we got there. Some areas may see a couple tenths of an inch to maybe upwards of an inch of rain, especially if you get some of that activity like we saw in Fayetteville where it really didn't move. There may be some localized heavier amounts, but good news is at least it's not the 3 to 5 inch rainfall probabilities that you get with some of the activity like we've seen in recent weeks. So that's a look at what we've got there. Moving on, here's a look. Foghorns morning fog outlook. So, grateful to have them here as a sponsor on the channel. Give them a support like they support us. Give them a visit. Sorry, can't talk right now apparently. Give them a visit in Fayetteville and in Springdale. And an Arkansas original since 2004. The Arkansas and, southwest Missouri, Oklahoma County coverage area, not expecting widespread dense fog overnight tonight, right? But there will be some patchy areas and maybe some slightly reduced visibility. Nothing major across the area. That's thanks to some of those cooler temperatures like what we saw this morning across the area. But we're not expecting widespread major issues. Maybe southwest Missouri, maybe a couple areas of some patchy fog, northwest Arkansas as well. And like we said, no major issues are expected. Make sure that you stay tuned to the forecast update here, throughout the week. We'll have the latest with the Foghorns morning fog outlook for your morning commute throughout these shows. Big shout out to them for sponsoring our channel. The drought update. Now, we're not going to show you this throughout the next several days once we get past today. I usually show it through the weekend and then into early next week because, we're getting a lot of traction with our followers. We're getting a lot of new followers. And, if you're not quite sure the drought situation right now, if you're in farming or if you're doing anything outdoors that this would impact, these update every Thursday. Now, this isn't a daily thing that updates. It's every Thursday that you get these updates. But one thing that I've wanted to highlight is notice, we're still into the moderate to extreme drought in many locations, especially to the south and east and well to the west. We desperately need some rainfall in some of these locations. Now, northwest Arkansas, southwest Missouri, no drought issues there for the most part. We've seen a tremendous amount of rainfall over the last month or so in many locations. So the good news is right now, not even in the dry category, but there are areas that are still dealing with some drought conditions, even though it feels like we had nonstop rain. Here's a look at what we got with futures scan for the remainder of this afternoon into this evening. Again, overnight, tonight, into tomorrow, mostly quiet later tonight, overnight. So we make our way into tomorrow afternoon. Notice additional spotty showers and thunderstorms look possible. Very similar to today, maybe not as high of a potential for some strong to severe storms. I can't rule out some activity, maybe capable of some hail, maybe some gusty winds, but for the most part, similar to what we saw today, maybe not as numerous for some of our south and east counties as we did see with some locations today, but we've got a low chance for some pop-up showers and storms just to be aware of once again as we head into tomorrow. Temperature outlooks, and this has been kind of on the minds of everyone. We're still seeing, above to well above average temperatures making their way gradually closer to the area, unfortunately. Now, you're going to see a lot on social media. I've seen numerous posts. I haven't seen as much today, but yesterday there was one particular model that was showing up to 120 degrees actual air temperature across parts of our Oklahoma coverage area, even in North Texas. Do I believe that that is absolutely what's going to happen? No, not really. We are looking at, a forecast that's going to change over the next several days. And, when you're looking at something 200 to 300 hours out, it gets really tricky because the models, even, 2 or 3 days out, they're not all that helpful. What we look for when forecasting is trends. So if that output were in every single output every 6 to 12 hours when that model updates, and we saw that and we were looking at that going, well, there's a trend kind of sticking to it, right? That's when we'd start to get worried. The pattern going forward is concerning me for extreme heat, but not in the, it's not going to be 120, 130 actual air temperature. We're not turning into Death Valley. What is concerning me is we have the humidity and we're about to see triple digit heat. I don't think it's going to be that warm, but I think that there could easily be some areas that reach maybe 105, maybe a little bit higher than that with the air temperatures. And when you factor in humidity, there will be some extreme heat issues. That's the long term, but keep in mind that forecast is going to change over time, over the next 6 to 10 days. So we're starting to lean into above average temperatures with the extended forecast, but there's no exact details as of yet because it's just uncertain. So I caution you with what you see on social media. This is why we're here to interpret these things. Obviously, we love the clicks and the views that we get from you, the viewers at home. We appreciate it. It's, how we, make a living. We love to bring you these forecasts, but we do it in a no-nonsense manner. And, I stick by that because as someone that grew up terrified of weather, I don't want to scare you guys at home. I want to make sure that hey, this is what we need. This is what we know. This is what's going to happen. That type of deal. So going forward, just be careful with what you see on social media. Is it going to be warm? Yes. But it's not going to be Death Valley type temperatures. So we'll let you know. If there is the potential that actually were to happen, we'll let you know. But right now, just want to caution you with what you see on social media. Temperatures are one thing. Precipitation is another. We're still into the slightly above average category, but notice well below average precipitation is also swinging into the area. That means that maybe we're going to start headed into more of that, what you hear on the news, what we call the death ridge, when you get kind of a blocking pattern over the central United States, things start to quiet down and heat up. Well, maybe we're starting to head in that direction as we make our way forward here in the next 6 to 10 days. So looks like summer is here and it is here to stay. Next 7 days, we got some rain chances coming up this weekend. Now, that's not going to be an all-day washout or a weekend washout, anything by those means. It's going to be warm, humid, some rain chances, low rain chances for some pop-up, to scattered, isolated whichever you want to call it, showers and thunderstorms over the next several afternoons. Not everyone's going to see this activity. Only around 10 to 20% is expected the coverage. And then we got some rain chances into the weekend. Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, those look to be the primary days. We're going to see kind of a little bit of a rocky pattern going forward. And it's not daily rain chances that we're talking about, but we got a couple of systems that move in between now and the weekend. And it's not going to be every day that sees one, but with the system that's arriving by the time we get to the weekend, the temperatures go from the mid 90s to the upper 90s to back to the mid 90s. And then we sharply warm back up into the triple digits by Monday of next week. So the temperatures are going to be what's the rocky pattern going forward, or the roller coaster, if you will. So, we're talking about this activity, and it's going to continue to be an issue with the temperatures going forward. Northeast Oklahoma, maybe some triple digits as well, as we got some rain chances. Not quite as high on Sunday, but mostly Friday and Saturday. And then as we make our way into Southwest Missouri, still some rain chances, and then a sharp warm-up early next week. So a little bit of a roller coaster with those temperatures. We got some rain chances to talk about. Of course, we'll let you know the very latest here. And, we'll be tracking any potential for storms, temperatures, all that here in the Weather 225 Storm Studios. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you everyone who tunes in here to these shows. And yeah, let us know if you like this set that we've got set up here, and the show layouts and everything. We appreciate your feedback, your support, everything. We appreciate you liking, sharing, commenting, all of that. That helps us tremendously. That's one of the best ways to support us, get our outreach out there. Tell us about, tell your friends and family about us. Let them know, hey, I like these updates and our coverage and all of that. That really helps us out a lot. If you want to donate, keep our operations funded, you can donate on Venmo and on Patreon. We have some options there. And also, if you own a business locally, we'd love to get in contact with you. We'd love to work with you, partner with you. We've got some opportunities to advertise on our channels. Be sure to contact us. You can call, text, or email me. Contact information's on the screen right now. That's a look at your evening forecast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you've had a wonderful day. We'll be here keeping an eye on the radar, let you know the very latest. There's that, and we have a little TVS there, tornado vortex signature, and that's indicative of some fairly strong rotation. With the latest state-of-the-art equipment, we can call out areas of concern ahead of the warning. And there it is. We called it here first, y'all, and we are able to show you these things in real time, and our tools, you can't beat them. We're able to show you these things as they happen before the warning even occurs. This is coverage you won't find anywhere else. Weather coverage with Joshua Weisel in the Weather 225 Storm Studios. Weather local to you since 2015. If you like our media and forecast, be sure to support us today on Patreon. You can advertise with us this storm season and throughout the year. Contact us today for availability and pricing. Weather 225 since 2015.